Hi there. Well, we've sure been on an adventure sharing more of our story, and we're really loving all the comments and hearing from those of you that are benefiting from what we're sharing. And today we want to share something that is tugging at our heartstrings because so many people are dealing with something that we went through, and that was a faith transition one at a time. So when one spouse,
That's how it usually happens,
that's
right?
usually
It's
how it
rare that
happens.
it's together.
And it's very common for this to happen, and we're going to just dive right in to how that felt.
Yeah, so I started a faith transition, and as I was discovering, new information and being a little more open to that information, I approached it in a way that didn't work that well. And that was trying to project all the things that I had been learning, these new ideas, new ways of looking at things into you.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably didn't feel very good.
No, it was very, I felt so alone during this process because, yes, I was aware that he was starting to dive deep into subjects that was like, a little edgy, a little fringy. And we have talked about this in previous videos, but we just kind of want to go a little bit more into detail because I wasn't ready. I wasn't at a space of allowing. I was full of fear, but actually also kind of in denial of what he was actually doing because I wouldn't listen. So he would start talking. I would put the hand up.
And it wasn't talk to the hand, it was stop talking.
Yes, stop talking. I am not ready to listen to this. And it was, yes, a very, very difficult time for both of us.
It was hard for both of us.
Very difficult. And all I can tell you is because of our relationship, because of our ability to communicate, even though I was so worried and full of anxiety and fear and ruminating on the worst case scenario, right? I would say during this stage, talking and communicating about good things, easy things,
The lighter issues.
tread lightly. Find the things that you have in common. Celebrate those, focus on those. It's not that we're not paying attention to this other thing, but where I could see the positive aspects of our relationship gave me a lot of hope and actually probably saved our relationship.
Yeah, and a better approach from my perspective would have been just more openness, more vulnerability. So perhaps something like, hey, I started looking at this and I'm really struggling. And could you help me with some perspective here? And sharing that, trying to get that perspective drawn together would probably really help.
Yeah, because what honestly happened instead was I could sense his pain or his anguish in what he was studying, and like now I understand what it was. Is he knew that once he got to a certain point, there was no going back. And he was quietly studying for good reason, right? I'm sure many of you have done the same thing where one of you comes across this information, you're up late at night, you go down this rabbit hole, and by the next morning, you're completely, wow, what has happened and how do I express this to my spouse, right?
We've heard those stories. So you may find in your relationship as you grow more distant and more apart, because you're not on the same page with regards to the church, you may need to just hold on, just wait, because it takes time for people to work through these very deep and connected issues within themselves.
And it's basically, don't make any big decisions in this stage because you just never know how things are going to shake out. And in our experience, in our situation, we went through a couple years, even after I had made the decision that, yes, I'm going to give this the benefit of the doubt, went through my own process. It was very, again, on my own, a lonely journey, because I didn't want to be influenced by this guy. that guy,
Not in that
whatever.
way, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to make sure I was making my own decision. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is it was very difficult for a few years after the fact. We basically were cohabitating. We were like two ships passing in the night because I was recovering from a realization that I didn't know who I was. There was so much
a lot of trauma,
deconditioning, deconstruction, religious trauma, shunning, loss of relationships. I mean, yeah.
So we really needed to hang on for one another.
Yes, and it was wonderful to kind of not wake up. I had a waking up, but being able to have this space to heal and to just be, and that we allowed this with each other, because it's not like I was wanting to go out and have a relationship with someone else. I needed to build the relationship with myself, and he allowed that, and Brad did the same thing.
Yeah. During
that time. But I can't say that there was a lot of safety and security. There was a lot of uncertainty, and we just had to learn to be okay with that.
And then build that within ourselves, really. That was kind of a big thing for both of us.
Yes, definitely. So the thing is, the point we're trying to make with this video is this is such a common occurrence. And yes, many relationships will not make it. And that's just the reality. And that's based on why you got married in the first place. If there's not enough depth in your relationship beyond your church beliefs, it may not make it. And that's probably for the best, quite honestly. Just today, I was reading on a social media post about, and it was an anonymous, and I hope it's okay to say this because I'm not going to mention any names, but it was discussing how one partner is having questions, but is needing to stay in the church for an ecclesiastical endorsement for school, and happened to buy a muffin with some coffee powder in an ingredient. And as this person took a bite of it, the spouse said, "That's it. If you're making this decision, you've made it, you've now crossed a line, and I am now not okay with it." And that's a pretty, that's
not much of a relationship, really.
Right. I mean, I'm sorry, over a bite of a coffee flavored muffin, you're going to end a relationship, a marriage relationship. This is called deep conditioning in beliefs.
Yeah, and that's probably, honestly, even though it's hard, for the best.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, I can absolutely say yeah.
I mean, the reality is none of us can really judge. Yeah, I mean, you and your relationship are the best one to decide. And for us, I wanted to be with her, and I think she wanted to be with me.
I didn't know what I wanted at the time. I'm just,
well,
here we are now. We made it. But it was because of a lot of work, a lot of healing, a lot of time, a lot of patience, and just taking care of each other.
It's been worth it.
Yeah, it's been worth it.
So, bottom line to this video is be as open as you can. Be vulnerable. Ask those questions. Try to get perspective from your partner.
I would say also maybe take your relationship, kind of put it in a bubble, put some distance out there, and just send love to that while you do your own healing. Give your relationship the benefit of the doubt, but you don't have to work on it right now if you're having to work on you and trauma recovery and
lots of decisions.
Trying to figure out who you are, what you want to be, what you value, that kind of stuff. But I am really grateful that this guy was patient with me while I went through some traumatic 2 years of recovery. I actually had some health issues and challenges, and so there wasn't much going on other than me in bed with low energy while I was dealing with an autoimmune condition. I guess what I'm trying to say is I can't imagine where I would be right now if I had not given our relationship the benefit of the doubt and really used, some critical thinking and the ability to just question what I was doing, what I wanted, what was really happening, what was reality, and just took the time, not rushing into anything, learned how to be okay with stillness and being present and communicating what I could communicate about. So this has been a rough topic, one that we definitely navigated. We know that not everyone is going to navigate it the same way we did, but we're here for you. We love getting the comments. We've actually had people reach out to us. We've had phone calls. It's one of the things that we're really passionate about. Whether it's a relationship that's worth saving,
it's up to you.
It's up to you. We can't make that decision for you. But
yes. So give yourself that space, that time, lots of patience, pour love into it, and
love
have an
conquers all.
outcome that you can live with and really come to love.
Yep. You've got this.